channel. Welcome back to my December daily series in the month of July, and today I'm participating in a YouTube hop with a bunch of other crafty artists and designers here in our community. This is the Crafty Christmas in July YouTube hop, and so it's hosted by Heather of Heather's Crafty Life, and I just wanted to participate in that hop and have an opportunity to support other artists in our community. So thank you for hopping along with us. Each artist is publishing a video, one video per week for the hop, and so I will link everyone below that is participating. I think there's about 13 or 14 people all together, and I think that you will find so much inspiration, make some new friends, and thank you for following along with us. So I'm going to hop into the video now, and let's take a look at my process for today. So I have days 12 and 13 for today's layout, and you can see here that I have the photos printed and ready to go. These are 2 days on one spread, so they're going to be visually linked, but I also want to do a divider in the middle of the page, so I'll be pulling from the stack of vellums and transparencies here. I'm also going through and looking for some of my journaling cards that I want to start with as my foundation. So I'm working with some Paisley Press journaling cards today, and that's where I think that's where all of the journaling cards are from, just from miscellaneous previous kits. And so my jumping off point was the geometric wreath card with this it's a sort of rose gold finish on that, and the December card that has the rose gold as well, and then of course some black and white and some red. And I'm really loving, I used those colors in the last process video, and really loved how that looked. It's almost minimalist for me. Typically I use a lot of color in my layouts, but I'm really liking the simplicity of this. And then you can see here how I am just laying some of the vellums over the layout just to sort of see how they feel with the photos and the cards that I've selected. I've done transparencies and vellums the whole 10 years I've been doing December Daily. I love them. I stash them. I hoard them, and so this is my stack of sort of Christmassy transparencies, and I just pull out a couple that I like. What I think that when I'm looking for or trying to decide what transparency to use, I'm typically looking for a bit of contrast. So I want it to contrast with whatever is underneath. In the end, I will end up choosing the red one, the Simple Joys, our Holidays at Home one, and I chose it because it was red. And there's another pop of red with the journaling card, the 4x6 journaling card here, and a couple of other red elements throughout the layout. So in the end, I like how it's going to turn out and everything. I just wanted to talk a little bit about my process for choosing those transparencies. In the past, I've sort of selected them and then made it work. But the way that this album is going this year is a whole lot different than the way it went in previous years, because in previous years I did a lot of work up front, like almost a completed album up front, and then finished it in the month of December. But I really like how this is going so far. I sort of feel like I'm just getting going. Do you ever, when you start an album, do you feel like it takes you a couple of layouts to get going and get a feel for the album? I definitely love where this is headed, and I really like the aesthetic of this album so far. it is different for me. And that's really cool. So I guess moving along, every layout that I do, I include some black and white. That's something that I've always done. I've talked about that before. And so I had this black and white card here, and I go through kind of a process with this black and white card. I turn it over and leave it like that, and then I'm gonna go here and try to find something different and see if there's something that I like better. And I really like that sort of hand-drawn lines look, but it felt a bit dark and heavy on the layout. Everything else on the layout is pretty clean. That photo in the right-hand corner is a little bit busy, so I was trying to keep everything else pretty light, and so I ended up using this triangle card and layering that little red hexagon over top of it. So, and then I just left it like that. The December card I've left alone. I'm just gonna let it shine on its own. This 4x6 card was actually really fun to create. I didn't want the whole card to show, and obviously I have this 4x4 photo. I think I printed it at like 3.5 by 3.5, and then trimmed it out with a little bit of border. And so then I want to add my journaling on one side of the photo, and that way just the red border shows from that card, and that way again it's not so visually heavy. You maintain some of your white space but still get to incorporate that red color. And then I'm going to use the lines from this journaling card. Liz Tamanaha of Paisley Press, she did some pretty interesting things with her journaling, her 3x4 cards this year by splitting them into two with a vertical line in between. And I really like that. So I trimmed out the lines. You guys know me and my love affair with lines. So I trimmed out the part with the lines and then added a little heart paper clip. The heart paper clip is from Felicity Jane. And then I added a little chipboard piece to the photo itself. And so the story for that day was we had gotten a bunch of snow on like the 8th and 9th of December last year. And Alan and I went to Target to do a little bit of shopping, and we had never seen the snowdrifts that they plow. I had never seen them that high before. Like, we parked the car and you could not see the store because those plow piles were so tall, and that doesn't happen often in North Carolina. So that was my story for that day. You know, we were just getting dug back out from all this snow, and it was still just laying there. So moving along, you probably just noticed I added the numbers to the 3x8 or the 3x8 transparency. And I added circles on the top, the wood circle with the number 12 on it. I have no idea where that came from. I've had it forever and ever and ever. And on the back is the number 13, and that number 13 is from Celine's studio. Now, you'll remember this wreath card was the jumping off point. And this is one of my very favorite cards that was in any of the kits last year. And so I had an opportunity to use it, and I'm so glad that I used it. I added stamped lines across the bottom, and if you noticed how I used the ruler to help me guide, to help me line up where those lines are, because it doesn't go all the way across a 6-inch card. Hint, hint, stamp makers. So, but it lends a kind of rough dotted line there. And once you add your journaling, it looks great. I masked off part of it on the right-hand side so that it didn't stamp off the edge. And I also added the little Santa chipboard circle. And so the photo for day 13 is about shopping and putting the stockings together for our kids, which happens to be my favorite part of Christmas. Overall, the whole big thing, the stockings are my favorite part. We load them up with snacks and toys and little gadgets and little tiny things, and it's just always fun. They love it. And so I photographed the whole pile before we put everything together, and then I'm just going to add a little banner or some kind of tag or something to the photo here. And I'm just going through, those little bits were from Ellie's studio from last year. Then my little bucket here, my little divider, that divider is from the Container Store. And I've got some Felicity Jane in there. I've got some crepe paper. The labels are just a collection of labels. And I end up using a little banner from crepe paper. And then that completes the layout. So thanks so much for joining me today. I had a great time sharing this with you. Thank you for watching. Be sure to hop along and check out the other designers who are participating today. I hope that you will subscribe and hit like, comment down below, and let me know what your favorite part about this layout is today. Thanks again. Bye-bye. Bye.